PQ, Positive Intelligence, a science based approach to mental fitness. Hi, I'd like to talk to you today about positive intelligence. But before I do, I want to address the folks that I serve. I love and have a passion for working with change makers. And change makers are those leaders who take the path less traveled. It's a difficult path, and there's some things you need to support you on that path. And one of them is confidence. I have been in situations where I was the first to develop a program or to start an initiative or a department. And it's challenging, and you need the confidence to be able to know that at the end of the day, you have enough to get you to your goals and to affect the change that you want to see happen. The other thing that you need is resilience. You're going to get hit with turbulence, people telling you you can't do something. You fight with yourself in terms of thinking that you you can't do something, or the funding isn't there, or it's not the right time, or there's fear because no one has done it before. And when you're flying high and you get hit with those kinds of objections, it takes the wind out of your sails. But you have to be able to bounce back quickly, and that's where resilience comes into place. And then you have to have optimism. You know, when the it gets dark sometimes, when you are on a path less traveled, and you need to have a good measure of optimism to carry you through those dark times consistently. And so when we talk about positive intelligence helps you to build mental fitness. And what I mean by mental fitness is strength and wellness of mind, the ability to take on challenges, whether they be situational or emotional, and manage them effectively to have the outcomes that you want, and to live a life that is pleasing, and there's a good sense of well-being and balance. So I'd hope that you continue to watch the rest of this video. If you resonated with any of those mindsets from the previous slides, this might be a journey for you. And I'm hoping that you find the tools that will be afforded to you, something that can support you in the work that you're doing and the life that you'd like to live. When our mental fitness is challenged, the results can range from minor irritations to debilitating stress or even serious mental health issues. While we can't prevent negative things from happening in our lives, we can control how long we allow them to hijack our minds. Mental fitness helps you to increase your level of resilience to allow you to bounce back from setbacks and negative experiences more quickly. I think that each of us would like a internal operating system that allows us to stay centered when life is shaking and quaking. And one of the things that I found about the PQ practice is that it allows me in the moment to identify when my emotions have been hijacked. That's powerful because prior to this practice, I was being hijacked all the time and I didn't know it. And I was responding to things from an off centered point of view. And so through this practice, I've learned to identify when I've been hijacked. But the most powerful part about it is that then I can stop and choose a different action to help redirect my negative thoughts that are spiraling downward and redirect them to my more positive centers of our brain. And we'll talk about that a little bit later because this practice, the PQ practice, is science based. And so it's not about, saying I feel happy. I'm happy, I'm happy, and you're not. It's really helping you to identify the thoughts that are bringing you down, the saboteurs that are telling you lies and keeping you in a state of agitation and misery, and being able to direct them to some of your more centered self. We call that your sage powers. The Positive Intelligence Program was created by Shirzad Shamin, an entrepreneur, New York Times bestselling author, and Stanford lecturer known for his work in positive psychology and leadership development. Positive intelligence was designed using the research behind neuroscience, cognitive behavioral psychology, positive psychology, and performance science to create a robust tool to redirect our negative thoughts and behaviors. Positive intelligence research found the core factors affecting performance and well being using factor analysis. They identified 10 negative response factors called saboteurs and 5 positive response factors named sage powers. Decreasing the time you spend under the power of your saboteurs and strengthening your sage powers is the crux of the PQ practice. Meet your saboteurs. Saboteurs are the voices in your head that generate negative emotions when you handle life's challenges. They exist in the brainstem, limbic system, and parts of the left brain. Everyone has the judge. The judge is the ringmaster who works up all the other saboteurs to hijack your emotions. Listed before you are the little gremlins that eat away at your confidence, relationships, and peace. We use PQ reps to weaken our saboteurs. PQ reps entail focusing on your body and senses for at least 10 seconds, strengthening your ability to regulate thoughts and feelings effectively. Through this practice, you will learn the SAGE perspective. The SAGE perspective states that every problem or challenge can be converted into a gift and opportunity. When you adopt this perspective, you stop worrying. Through this practice, you learn that gentle contemplation is the solution for your most pressing concerns. Sage powers are positive mental abilities or strengths that enable you to navigate challenges and thrive. The 5 sage powers are empathy, explore, navigate, innovate, and activate. Your sage lives in the middle prefrontal cortex, the empathy circuitry, and right brain. Activating this region releases endorphins that counter the negative impacts of stress induced cortisol. In the 6 week program, you will learn more about these powers and how to use them to rewire your brain's negative connections to the saboteur side of your brain. Your PQ score is the measure of your mental fitness. If you are physically fit, you can climb a steep hill without physical stress. Similarly, if you're mentally fit, you can handle life's greatest challenges without mental stress, frustration, and other negative emotions. Your PQ score reveals your mental fitness level by measuring the strength of your positive mental muscles versus the negative. The Positive Intelligence Program offers a positive intelligence assessment. When you take the PQ assessment, you identify your PQ score, i.e., your general level of mental fitness, and your top 3 saboteurs. During the 6 week program, you will work to decrease their negative impact on your mental well being. This 6-week program is well oiled and well designed. We talked earlier about PQ reps, and that's where you break up the hijacking that occurs, and you get into your body, right? You focus on some part of your physical being to break up the hijacking, to redirect your thoughts. So that first week, you're going to really start exploring the foundations of mental fitness. You're going to start exploring and using regularly and consistently PQ reps throughout your day. When we start to move into weeks 2 and 3, now we're starting to intercept those thoughts. You're starting to be able to recognize when you are being the pleaser, or you've fallen into the victim mode, or oftentimes when your judge is judging and executing you and executing others, you start to realize that, and there's power in being able to identify what's hijacking you. As the weeks go on, then you learn how to turn that negative power and redirect yourself to your more wiser centered self. And we'll talk about that in the next slide. Once you start moving into weeks 4 through 6, now you're starting to build those sage muscles and that sage perspective, where we look at any challenge as a gift and opportunity. You start to see the world a little bit differently, and you start to build those muscles. Again, this is mental fitness means that you have to build your muscles. When things happen, you have to, instead of going and being triggered, you have to then have that power to recognize the issue, recognize the saboteur, pause for a minute, and then redirect, find a different action that you're going. Maybe you need more empathy in this moment. Maybe you need to innovate in this moment. Maybe you need to explore and be inquisitive. But you move your mind from the negative side of your brain to the more positive, energized side of your brain. And that's what we do in weeks 4 through 6. You start to build those sage muscles. This is a rigorous practice. This is not something that that you build mental fitness through osmosis. You've got to get in there, and you've got to get busy, and you have to be consistent. And I'm going to tell you, after some time doing this practice, you really start to reap the benefits. You become a lot more centered, and think when things hit you, you are able to address them in a much more balanced way. You're able to recover more quickly. Your life changes, and your relationships change as well, because you become a different person. There is a 15-minute a day, at the very least, requirement of your time. You will use the app, which is well designed. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But the program is packed with resources to help you to build your positive intelligence, which is going to result in greater levels of mental fitness. Day by day, you start to feel it, and people around you start to see the difference, which is quite amazing. There's weekly group meetings or pod meetings. You have the support of other folks, and it's a program that is foundational, but it has lifelong applications. Because if you really embrace these techniques, it's something that you will use throughout your life. Just like physical fitness, mental fitness takes practice. During the 6-week program, you'll have access to a well designed app. The PQ app tracks progress, connects you with your podmates, provides daily activities to combat saboteurs, and enhance sage powers. Through daily practice, you will build new neural pathways and the ability to recognize saboteur hijacking quickly. The PQ Gym gives you access to timed exercises using audio, tactile, breathing, visual prompts, and relaxation to redirect your negative thoughts for increased mental fitness. Here's the program: 6 weeks duration, weekly 1 hour video sessions, 15 minutes per day practice on the app. You'll receive the Positive Intelligence book. You'll have a cohort of peers for support and accountability, weekly live coaching sessions, access to the app, content, and practice for an entire year. As you can see, this is a robust 6 week mental fitness program. It's for those who are committed to living a life of well being, peace, and personal effectiveness. Positive intelligence is an operating system with lifelong applications. If your mental fitness or the mental fitness of your team could use a new operating system, I encourage you to learn more about this powerful program. Discover what saboteurs are holding you back. You owe it to yourself, relationships, and team to be the best you possible. Life is a lot easier when you are mentally fit.